The community here in Palo Alto was established really just simply to help people. There's no other more complex motive than that. These teachings of Paramhansa Yogananda that we all follow, interpreted and given such a wonderful expression by Swami Kriyananda, are just what the world needs at this time. Yogananda's idea of spiritual communities is home, job, and church in one place. And at Ananda Village, where they have a lot of acreage, it's more literally true. Here it's home, job, and church in one spirit. 7 years ago, God answered our desire and provided us the opportunity to buy a real church. It has a beautiful chapel which we've recently renovated, and every week we have a Sunday service there. Every night of the week we have at least 1 or 2 classes. We have music programs, happy family satsang, just the joy that comes from having an inner life. We all long for a deeper sense of spirituality and a way to belong to God, a way to serve humanity, and to be with one another. This is the main reception area and the bookstore, the boutique, at our teaching center. And this building, this whole building here, has classrooms for adults, our offices for the Sangha staff, and also a couple of children's classrooms as well. And when we have classes in the evenings, we have classes almost every night, sometimes more than one. People register here, and then during their breaks they can come, and we have a whole array of books by Swami Kriyananda and all of Paramhansa Yogananda's books, tapes, literature about all the programs that we give, and a lot of products, meditation paraphernalia, and just beautiful things from India and other places that people would like to have. We started our school 10 years ago, and we have about 50 students. Our classes are quite small. It runs from kindergarten through 8th grade, some combined. There's such a spirit of joy and training the children not to be religious in a sectarian sense, but just to understand that God is a living reality. Children naturally know this. All you have to do is encourage and help them to understand how to deepen that relationship, and they just flower. This is our East-West bookshop. Someone else started it, and it was a much smaller store in a different location. Then a few years ago, it was really time to expand with the exploding interest in metaphysics and spirituality. And so we moved into this much expanded location and started adding, in addition to all the books, many more videos and cassette tapes and gift items and just items of beauty and spiritual inspiration. We have about 30 employees here, almost all of whom are associated with Ananda, and some are just friends in the area who enjoy working here. And this is a real gateway for a lot of what Ananda does, because truth seekers come here, and if it's appropriate, that's often a place where they find out about what Ananda is also doing, or else we guide them in whatever direction is most karmically appropriate for them. This is the courtyard of our community. We were extremely fortunate to find a piece of property with a lot of open land, which is really quite unusual in this area, where land is very expensive. But this green area has just been the heart of our community. It's a very temperate climate here. We have a winter, but it's not very harsh, and so for a great deal of the time, all year round, we can eat outside, we can play outside, we can be out in the evenings all through the summer, and so we have kirtans and celebrations and picnics, and the children just run back and forth in this green area. It's really just been a wonderful place for all of us. This facility holds about 100 adults, and we usually have somewhere between 10 and 15 children. It's a very ordinary life in certain ways. People have their own little apartments. People can come home at night and have dinner with their families if they like. It's also a completely revolutionary lifestyle. We have a community dining room, we have a temple, and everybody who lives here is part of the Ananda way of life. And the sense of friendship and harmony and just sheer delight in looking out your window and seeing the people that you love most in the world every day has really been wonderful. About half the people who live in our community hold the jobs they've always held in the Silicon Valley area here. Many work in the technical industry or in the service industries or business in various ways, and they just get up in the morning, go off to their jobs, and they just happen to come home here. The other half of the people, in one way or another, are employed at one of the Ananda enterprises. We have a dining room here in the community. We essentially took the living rooms of 2 apartments and converted them into a dining room. We serve dinner. We serve dinner every evening, 5 nights a week during the week, and the people take turns cooking or cleaning up, and then people actually pay for their meals, and you pay less if you work, or you pay more if you choose not to work. We have vegetarian, gourmet cooking.
My friends won't be here in no time.
I see. And it's an extreme convenience to come home after a long day and just be able to have someone else have made dinner.
I can make it big.
Plus the pleasure of seeing your friends every night.
Really helps.
Everybody who lives here is a meditator and a devotee of Master and devoted to Ananda and to the path of self-realization. So there's such a harmony of vibration and such a joy of friendship and sharing our lives together. It's really absolutely ideal. After you live like this for a while, you think, how could I ever live differently again? It's just so joyful and so much fun. Self-realization, by its very definition, it's not an institution or anything like that. It's individual people feeling inspired to seek a greater understanding. And direct experience is the best way to do that. And the more people can experience the potential of this way of life, quite simply, the more they want it. In this way, we've been spent a joyful 15 years and probably look forward to spending at least that much more and maybe even longer, just following the very basic, simple ideas that Swami first gave us to make it easy for people to find what Paramahansa Yogananda has to offer, to make it exciting and inspiring for people to come into the spiritual family, to serve in perfect keeping with that wonderful prayer of Paramahansa Yogananda's, which we say so often at the end of all our prayers. May thy love shine forever on the sanctuary of our devotion, and may we be able to awaken that love in all hearts. That's the spirit of Ananda, and that's the spirit of what we're doing here.